All right, let's talk about it. One of the most common, most annoying little mix-ups in the English language. That real grammar headache. The constant battle between sit and set. You know that feeling, right? You're in the middle of a sentence and your brain just freezes. Is it sit or is it set? Well, trust me, you are so not alone. This one trips up pretty much everybody. But the good news is there's a ridiculously simple way to get it right almost every single time.
And here it is, the secret weapon. The whole key to this puzzle comes down to one little grammar concept, the direct object. If you can get your head around this one idea, you've basically solved it. So, what on earth is a direct object?
Okay? Don't let the technical terms scare you. It's actually really easy. A direct object is just the thing that receives the action. That's it. You find it by asking the question what or whom right after the verb. So in I threw the ball, you'd ask, I threw what? The ball. The ball is your direct object. Simple.
And this right here, this is the entire game plan. With sit, the subject is doing the action to itself. It's a solo act. It doesn't need a direct object. But set? Set is different. Set is all about doing something to something else. It always needs a partner. It absolutely requires a direct object to make sense.
All right, let's break this down. First up, we're going to master sit. Just think of this as the verb of rest. So the golden rule for sit is just this. The subject of the sentence is the one doing the actual sitting. The action begins and ends with them. No other object is getting acted on. Take a look at this. I will sit on the floor. Who's doing the sitting? I am. The action stops with me. I'm not doing it to anything else. See? Straightforward. Or how about this one? The dog likes to sit by the door. Again, who is sitting? The dog. The subject, the dog, is performing the action. It's all self-contained. No direct object anywhere. Okay, time to flip the coin. Let's master set. And the key word I want you to burn into your brain for this one is placement. With set, it's all about taking action on some other object. You, the subject, are putting or placing or arranging something else. This is where you go hunting for that direct object. This example shows it perfectly. She set the book on the desk. Okay, let's use our test. She set what? The book. Ding, ding, ding. There it is. The book is our direct object, which means we have to use set. And here's one we say all the time. Can you set the table for dinner? So what are you being asked to set? You're being asked to set the table. The table is the direct object that's receiving the action. All right, you knew this was coming, right? It's English. Of course there are some exceptions. But don't worry, once you know these few tricky ones, you're pretty much unstoppable. So these are really just fixed phrases you kind of have to memorize. Like the sun sets, but it's not actually placing anything. When gelatin or cement sets, it just means it hardens. We always set a date or set an alarm. And this last one's a classic trip-up. A hen sits on her eggs. Even though she's placing herself there, the idiom is that she sits. Just file these away as the weird ones.
Okay, enough with the rules. Time for a pop quiz. Let's put this new knowledge into action. You're ready for this. Here we go. Should it be please sit or set the flowers on the table? Take a second. Think about it. Are you acting on an object here?
And the answer is set. Yes. Why? Because you're performing an action on a direct object. What are you setting? The flowers. You are placing them somewhere. You got it. So if you forget everything else, just remember this one little trick. It's a lifesaver. You see something. That little T sound is in both words. Let that be the little alarm in your head that tells you to look for an object. And just like that, the sit versus set headache is pretty much cured. You have the golden rule, you have the memory trick, you're all set. So the only question left is, what other confusing grammar rules should we clear up for you next?